Good morning.
Hi, nice to see you. This is OBC News from Orpington Baptist Church, and saying hello to you and bringing you up to date with everything going on. And how do you think, Phil, how do you think Sunday went? It was the first service. We had nearly 100 people back here in a socially distanced congregation. How did it go, did you think?
It far exceeded my expectations of where I felt it would be. It was just brilliant. I could feel the Holy Spirit in the church. I just felt flooded personally, and I was only in there obviously for the start before we went out. I thought the worship, the leading, it just was all brilliant.
Yeah,
it really was.
There was a real sense of joy, and I hope
yeah.
I hope it came across to those. Though there were nearly 100 there as a congregation, there were several other hundred watching online, and I hope that sense of joy came over to people at home as well as in the church.
Yeah, I've spoken to a few people that watched it online. Sarah, actually, one of them, and it was no different for them, which I'm really pleased about, because we were keen to get messages across to everyone, weren't we? Not just 100 in front of us, but I think actually over 800 have seen it online since. So it's really good that we can appeal to both. And that was one of our challenges, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
But
yes.
it was just fantastic, and we really were grateful for God's guidance on it all, really, because other churches haven't come back yet, and others are doing different things to us. But we just felt led to do it how we did it and how you saw it, and everything from the worship to Hayley's testimony actually was
just super, wasn't it?
Just lovely, and we just hope it's a start of things to come, because as we said on Sunday morning, there's never in history as our church been closed for that long a time.
No, that's right.
So it's actually a real special occasion.
But again, moving on, there's an opportunity to come to church on Sunday, and please book if you'd like to. If not, watch online on Sunday morning at 10:30 for worship together, whether you're here in the church or at home watching online. It doesn't really matter as long as we worship God together.
Yeah, absolutely, and the normal channels if you want to get involved. So do let us know. It's the start. The series that we're on is Living Hope, isn't it?
Yeah,
from 1
it's
Peter.
in 1 Peter, and we move on to the second part of 1 Peter chapter 1 this week. So looking forward to that. But yesterday morning I woke up to news that the government were going to announce something big by the end of the day, and the suggestion was something about 6, and then we discovered later on in the day that it was going to be this new rule of 6. That is that you from Monday you shouldn't meet inside or outside in groups of more than 6 people. And there were certain exceptions, and thankfully we heard the Prime Minister, actually Boris, saying that that church worship was particularly exempt from that rule. Continuing safe worship, COVID secure worship, as we want it to be. But thankfully, we weren't going to have to close the church again.
That's a huge relief, because it was worrying, wasn't it?
It was
worrying. It was all a little bit unsure, and actually it is still quite unsure as to how we operate entirely from here on, isn't it? I mean, we are able to worship, and that is so key for us, and we're so grateful for that. But everything else outside of a Sunday morning worship, the honest answer is we just don't know yet.
No.
We're waiting for a response from the Baptist Union, aren't we? That's
right. More details from the Baptist Union, and I promise you that we're really onto it and really following the advice very carefully and watching for the latest news all the time, not only from the government but from the Baptist Union of Great Britain. So we'll know more about smaller groups operating by the end of the day. I think youth groups on a Sunday morning and children's work on a Sunday morning should be okay. But I think life groups that are meeting physically again, a couple are, we'll have to make sure that they're not more than six.
Wow. So that does affect actually what David does during the week in person, and certainly what I will be doing. You know, the vision that we both have to get our children and young people back into church and doing things together is on hold at the moment. And the same for Boys Brigade, Girls Brigade. It's all on hold. We await the Baptist Union, and they do things so thoroughly. Actually, we appreciate their detail into it all, and it's just a case of being patient, really.
Yeah, we've got a church members meeting booked as well for the beginning of October, on a Saturday morning, and we really hope that we'll be able to go ahead with that. But again, we just got to listen to the advice. Yeah. We're asking people to book to come to the church meeting and would want to do it in a COVID secure, safe way, but just wait on news further about that.
Yeah, it's a shame. We, you know, especially after Sunday was such a joyous occasion. We really felt like it was a springboard for us to just do more. And that's what we really want to do. But, you know, we have to be safe and we have to listen to the government. So that's the way it goes. But, you know, fortunately, our next course that we're running is still online. And that's our prayer course, which we're really looking forward to, isn't it?
We really are. With Pete Gregg, the leader of the 24/7 prayer movement internationally, and a course of 8 following through the Lord's Prayer. So we're going to do that on a Thursday evening, isn't it?
Thursday evening from the 24th, yeah.
Okay, and 39 people.
Is that how many so
far?
Wow.
So far, so
that's going to be great. We're really looking for. And if you want to join, like, there's more than enough space for you as well. So get in touch with the office again, because it would be a pleasure to do this 8-week series together. And Pete Gregg's written many books, but this one's based around the Lord's Prayer, breaking it up, but it's also based on his latest book, How to Pray, a simple guide for normal people. I keep getting it wrong. I usually say a normal guide for simple people, but it's a simple guide for normal people. And he opens it, actually. I watched the first episode recently. He opens it by saying, if I was to tell you that I didn't speak to my wife, I didn't talk to her at all during the day, or any day of the week, you'd suggest our marriage wasn't working. Well, why is that the case when you don't pray? If you stop praying, your relationship isn't working. And that's just the start.
That's, really
that's
good.
A glimpse of how inspiring I think the course will be. And Pete Gregg's a great Christian, and he's working alongside in this course with a lady from America, but she's actually working in Ibiza at the moment. So do sign up for it. It's going to be good.
Yes,
really looking forward to it.
It's lovely, and we are not just wanting to listen. We're actually wanting to break into groups whilst we're on online on Zoom and practice what as it were what we've learned, so that we're going to have times of prayer together.
That would be lovely. But don't feel put off by that, just because some people may not want to pray out loud, and I know that does put people off. So you could just sit and listen to others.
Good point.
Good point. But you will still feel encouraged, I'm sure, to maybe pray, even in your heart.
Talking about praying, I was thinking 2 bereavements we've had. Very significantly, Jim McKay Wright, who's died, and on Thursday it's her funeral and service of Thanksgiving here, and they really are full up. Actually, Wilfred her husband was telling me yesterday he's got a waiting list now of people wanting to come. But more particularly, the service of Thanksgiving from here is going to be broadcast, isn't it?
You're
going to help us with that.
Yeah, I'm going to help you. That's a real honour to do as well. So for people that aren't able to make it here, and you're not on the list, so to speak, because she was such a loved person here and wider as well, then it will be available on our Facebook and YouTube pages as well. So do be in touch for those details, or just go to our website again. But that's going to be a busy day for us. Actually, the prayer course was going to start then, but because of the importance of that day, we feel it's only right, actually, that we start it the week after.
No, and the following week, actually, I've got another funeral of one of our members, Pat Marshall, a very elderly lady that's been in care for quite a few years, and we give thanks to God for her life. She was such a faithful servant.
That's brilliant.
Whilst dementia has taken her the last few years. We just want to celebrate her life as well, and that's going to be at Bluebell Cemetery the following week. And friends from the church, I'm sure, will want to be with us for that.
When was she at the church? Because I don't remember her
No,
time here.
no. Well, I suppose something like 7 years ago she went into a home.
Okay,
Bless her. And Cafe on Wheels has been going really well.
Oh, you know what? I treated myself. Yeah, I say treated myself. I had a salad, but me and Sarah had a citrus chicken salad yesterday.
Ah.
It was so nice. It was so tasty. I thoroughly recommend our Cafe on Wheels. It always has something for you to enjoy. Have you had anything yet?
Yeah, but I've come and tasted things.
Right. Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm sure. I want your job. It's So our Cafe on Wheels operates weekly at the moment. We are looking at opening up our church for a cafe during the week, but that's probably not going to be for a while, especially given yesterday's news.
Yeah.
But whilst those guidelines and restrictions are in place, our wonderful cook Karen Wharf is happily making different things for us each week, and I can't remember exactly what the menu was for the following week.
No, I think Karen herself will put out the menu later today for next week, so keep an eye open for that.
Yeah, and for those that aren't on our WhatsApp forums and things like that, then we will try and post it all on Facebook, and the website and so on, so you can book. And you need to book by the next Monday, so that Karen can prepare all the food. And we bring it to you. That's an absolute honour as well. So it doesn't matter whether you've got a car and you can get here, we'll bring it to you. And that's just a real pleasure and privilege to do. So just let us know what you want, and you pay either by cash or you can pay by bank transfer. So again, lots of different options, and some real tasty treats, as well as some hearty meals as well.
One of the highlights of last Sunday was the worship, actually, and that John was leading, of course, and he was just lovely, and we're so grateful to that worship group that have been working very hard, and they've been practicing a couple of times a week outside of the service, and some new people within that group. So some people haven't recognised.
No, it's new faces for some.
So, but it's really coming together well, and of course we are preparing for the time that John is not going to be with us by the end of October. He's told us that he's moving on from OBC, which is really hard for us. But with John's help, we're really preparing well for that time for the future.
Yes.
Even this morning, we've been talking further about that and making plans. And God is good, and God is going to. God has got it, and with the gifted people that we have around us here at OBC, it's going to be okay.
It's absolutely, and we have felt guided by God, as has John, hasn't he? In his decision making, he hasn't done it lightheartedly at all.
No,
so
indeed.
God's hand is in all of this, and we fully trust Him that come the time, the right person will come in and wear their own shoes to take our worship on. But John's work, especially in the last 6 months, not just the last 6 years, has been amazing. We wouldn't be able to do what we're doing for you at home if it wasn't for John. That's for certain. So we are so thankful for him. But you're right. The worship was on point. It was it was on fire, I thought. It was so good.
Yes, it was.
And we look forward to more of that on Sunday, actually.
Absolutely.
It's actually, I found it really hard not to sing.
Yes,
I actually had to slap my hand a few times because I found myself singing.
You can hum, and you can, but lots of people were clapping as well.
Yeah. Well, you couldn't help but stand up at times as well.
One or two were dancing as well, which was just lovely to see.
But there are other ways to worship.
Thank you, Naomi, particularly.
Naomi led the way with that.
With the dancing. That was great.
It was great. But that's kind of that summed up the atmosphere of that day, didn't it?
Yes,
really?
it did. Yes.
It was so good. In a couple of weeks, we've got a really nice service coming up. We've got our harvest service. That's on the 27th, actually, where we will be supporting the food bank. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. And people can bring. There's a list around of the needs for the food bank just now. Ask about that if you haven't seen it. But people could bring gifts to the church all through the week in terms of non-perishable food and toiletries, and we will get it to the food bank. But then finally on Harvest Sunday on the 27th for the collection for the food bank as well, and we'll be pleased to be able to take all of that we bring to the food bank as it ministers to people in need all around the borough of Bromley.
So that's the 27th, isn't it?
Yeah, it's 27th of September.
That's fantastic. So yeah, do feel free. And it's so as Martin said, during the week we can bring things as well, because usually it's a bit of a stampede, isn't it?
Yeah,
so many people are generous
trying
with their gifts on the Sunday. There's people waiting to take them, and it's a lovely occasion, especially that little part there. But to be safe, we're encouraging people to drop things off during the week and bring it to the front before we do sort of a general offering during the service, just to make it safe. But we look forward to that, and we hope it blesses many.
Just one other thing in terms of outreach from OBC, the food bank being one, but another one is street pastors. And all through lockdown, they haven't been going out, as rightly so. But this Friday, they're going to start going out patrolling. They go out from Orpington Baptist Church, and a number.
They patrol the high street, don't they?
Yeah, they do, and a number of our own members are involved in it. Although it's a team from Churches Together as a whole. So from about 9 till midnight, actually. They go up and down the high street and just calm any trouble or minister to any needs. It's great work.
Yeah, they support the establishments. They support the police as well,
yes,
don't they?
They do.
And the paramedics when needed, and they do a phenomenal job. And they really need your prayers as well as they go back out on the streets, because it's a phenomenal thing that they do, and we're really grateful for them doing it. I actually hope one thing that the government have said is that there may be a curfew coming into Britain for 10 p.m.
Yes.
So their shift might be cut short in the future. So they won't have to worry about being out so late. But at the moment, it's nice for them to do it again. But especially as the weather gets cold, it's a real challenge for them.
Yes.
And I'm sure many of you know what sort of behaviour some people can produce when they've been out of an evening. So their patience is key.
Margaret, my wife, is the coordinator of street pastors in the town, and on Sunday in worship here, she's going to tell us how they got on Friday.
That's great.
And then pray for the work as well as
and
other things.
There's no one better than her to do it, because when it comes to dealing with raucous behaviour, she's probably quite well drilled with that, isn't she? Really?
Yeah, good point. My dog.
Yeah, Buddy, I'm talking about, and Katie as well. Yeah. Oh, that's great. No, we really look forward to hearing about that. She's going to pray with us, and we've got Mark, I think, reading on Sunday. We've got Naomi
giving
a family talk.
Yes.
That's great. And is it the following week we're going to do communion?
Yeah, on the 20th. That's the 20th of September. Yes, we're going to do communion in a COVID-safe way.
That's brilliant.
So we're going to celebrate communion, and of course here in church. But if you're at home on the 20th of September, make sure that you have bread and wine or the equivalents of that nearby, so that if you would like to, if you feel able to, you'll be able to share in communion with us.
What's been a real blessing in the last 6 months throughout lockdown is doing these services and hearing from new people that we haven't known yet or have seen much of. And if you are one of those people who have been watching and feel the need to speak to us, or you want us to pray for you, or you want to know more about what we do, then we're here for you. Please contact our office. there's always someone to pray every day, isn't there? We've got a fantastic
Yes.
prayer ministry team.
That's right.
Every day of the week, at least once, sometimes twice, there'll be someone to pray for you, and they'll gladly either just listen to you, pray with you, pray for you, and that's real honour to hear from new people. So do get in touch. Don't think that this church is for people that know us. It's for everyone.
Yes, it is.
It's absolutely everyone. We make no doubt about that. That would be lovely. You met as a pastoral care team, didn't you, yesterday?
Yes.
I think you just wanted to mention that quickly.
Yeah,
Was that
sure.
right?
Yeah, sure. We met, and actually we met for the first time since lockdown physically, because we've been Zooming one another and keeping in contact very regularly. But yesterday, as pastoral care team, we got together down here at the church, and it was
Long
great.
overdue.
It was great.
That was nice,
yes,
was it?
Yes. And just to say, people may not know, but behind the scenes, a lot of pastoral care is going on. Just for instance, one of the pastoral care coordinators, Ruth Dial, your mum,
My mum, yep.
is taking Andy Carpenter to King's Hospital today.
Okay.
And we pray for Andy as she has further tests and consultation there. But, it goes on day by day.
And it's wider than the pastoral care team, isn't it? Because each life group has been so compassionate towards each other.
Of course.
And that's actually grown, hasn't it, from lockdown? And we pray that continues.
That's really
good. This care
really
for each
good.
other has really come out. But the pastoral side of this church is wonderful and very active, as Martin said.
Yeah. Perhaps that's a good moment which to pause now.
Yes.
But this is OBC News, bringing you up to date with everything going on. God bless you.
Bye-bye.